Now, getting the papers all in a whirl this week have been latest proposals from the government and the Conservatives aimed at tackling Britain's binge drinking crisis. Now, Labour intends to ban all free drinks promotions and to force pubs to offer small measures, while the Conservatives want to introduce charges for late-night licences to pay for better policing. So, do you think that it throws up the question, do you think 24-hour drinking has actually made things worse or better? Do you think any of these proposals could actually work?
Well, as somebody who works in the night and then tries to find somewhere to go, not literally in the night, I mean, I work at night and I finish at 11 o'clock, and for someone, you know, and on my team would like to go out, I have never seen a pub or a club that is open after 11 o'clock. I don't know where all this 24-hour drinking is going on, because every time we've tried to find somewhere to go for a late-night drink, we've had to ring a hotel that we're staying at and say, could you put somebody on the bar to give us a drink when we get in? But so I don't know where it's all going on.
So you don't think that it's necessarily part of the problem? Because there is a problem out there.
Not at all a part of the problem. I don't think so, anyway. I don't see it. I only see it in the media. I don't really see it anywhere.
What do you think the problem is, then?
I just think there isn't a deterrent for... I mean, in another European country that I've frequented quite a lot, if you're drunk and disorderly on the street, the police come and they throw you in a cell and they hose you down with freezing cold water. Yeah, and I think that would be a really good idea, because I don't think many people would do it after that.
I think it's one of the only good things I think this government have done in the last 12 years is change the licensing laws, because, like Jane, you know, frankly, I don't want to be told when I'm allowed to have a drink and when I'm not. So, you know, I think the relaxation of those laws was a good thing. But now, you know, a lot of people are blaming the binge drinking culture, as they call it, on the 24-hour drinking. But the truth is, nobody is drinking for 24 hours. No one drinks round the clock, and that's a fact. It's impossible to do. But there is a problem with binge drinking. There is a problem with people in this country who are determined to get very, very drunk very, very quickly. Now, I know that people will be watching this thinking, oh, you know, you're a drunkard, you can talk. But I don't particularly... I can talk, and I didn't drink last night. I don't particularly want to get drunk as quickly as possible. And the people that do, you know, I like to have a drink, but I like to take my time. And, you know, eventually, if I get drunk at the end of the evening, it's kind of the result. But, you know, then I stop. But people who binge drink are on a mission to get really drunk. And I think the problem is the strength of the alcohol in certain drinks. Like, if you go into a supermarket and look for low-alcohol wine, and I don't mean, you know, the real low-alcohol, no-alcohol wine, I just mean kind of 11, 12%, you can't find it anymore, because it's all 14.5%, and it makes a hell of a difference to how much alcohol you're taking in. And I think they should ban really high-alcohol beer. Like, there's 9% beer out there. Like, who needs that unless you're, you know, a tramp who can only afford one can of it? You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. There is cheap booze out there, and I don't think taxing booze is the right answer, because people who don't have much money then get penalised, and they do like to have a drink. I think the problem is the strength of the alcohol.
Sherry, can I just ask you, because obviously, you know, you and I come from very different generations. I can remember when I was a teenager, this problem was around then. This isn't a new thing. I don't necessarily know if the alcohol was stronger then or weaker then than it is now. Is this something that you saw when you was a teenager?
I think the drinking culture is different now.
Is it?
Yes, I think everybody can afford drink now, and that goes to very, very cheap booze. And my brother has a bar restaurant in Conway, and he never opens later than 11 o'clock and absolutely refuses, and so do the other ones. When it first came in, I thought everybody went, oh, yes, let's open till 12. But they don't now, they don't. My brother never has, and it makes no difference. And he said, even when he tried it slightly an hour later, I think we're very governed in this country by everybody has lunch from 12 to 2:30, everybody goes out. I mean,
old habits die hard.
Yes, old habits. And I do remember the pubs closing at, I think it was 10:30. And yes, you did have a few more drinks because you knew it was going to close. But I think, as Brett said, you know, he stayed open another hour later, nobody there, or everybody gone, because the culture is you stop at a certain time.
Do you know, I think you've nailed it there. I think it's a cultural thing, because, you know, you look at the continent, you look at places like, you know, Scandinavia or whatever, they've had their own problems. I think every country has its own culture, and I'm afraid our drinking one isn't a particularly positive one.
Not at all.
Don't know what we can do about it, but there you go. Time for one final break, but when we get back, we'll be joined